Come on. Everything's gonna be okay. Will you just turn around and talk to me and we can...
Hey everybody, we're the Bayou Boys. I'm Boudreaux.
And I'm Thibodeau.
And there's three things that we love doing: eating boudin, eating crawfish, and watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Don't be only Boudreaux. Let me introduce the panel. First off, he is the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which can be heard exclusively over on Spreaker.com/HWR Media and YouTube.com/HWR Show. He is the Illuminous One, the Shining Star, Rick Starr. Rick, how you shining?
All I can say is World Wrestling Predictability.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he loves candy corn and unicorns, and not particularly in that order. He is the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman. Cartman, what's up?
The Sky.
Yes, that is the correct answer. And ladies and gentlemen, from the hood on Instagram, he's the Bay Area MVP, known as Will. Will, what's up?
After that blackout, it was a good time to hit that toilet.
Oh, God.
The hell?
You have no idea how true that is, as we welcome in my fellow Who Dat member, James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing?
5-0. Wait, we're talking about something else. Who hired the same people who did the lights for the Super Bowl?
I blame Sankara.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Battleground is done. It's official. It's in the book. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the pay-per-view tonight. We're going to start off with the kickoff match between Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow. And one thing that I made mention of on the predictions for Battleground is if Damien Sandow went over on Dolph Ziggler, then Dolph Ziggler standing in the WWE really wouldn't be that good. But that turns out to be the exact opposite, as Ziggler hit the zigzag on Damien Sandow and gets the victory. A lot of people were wondering, there was one particular spot, Rick, where it looked like that Sandow, I don't know if it was kayfabe or legit, but it looked like something happened with his knee, like he tweaked it or something. I don't know if you caught that.
I honestly didn't. It looked kind of just the match. Looks like a pretty even flow match. So if it was a botch or not, whatever, it was just part of the match. I honestly didn't see it. I didn't notice it.
I'm going to go ahead and give the opening match a 4 out of 5. I thought it was actually really good for a kickoff match. Dolph Ziggler, he has what I feel, without a shadow of a doubt, there's only one other person that can compete with him when it comes to drop kicks. And Dolph Ziggler has a really great drop kick. And he does his spots really well. I was very entertained for the kickoff match, and I think the fans were entertained as well. That was the main thing. So I got to give it a 4 out of 5. Now we get to the actual pay-per-view, and we open up, and this is something I hate, is when you open up your pay-per-view with your World Heavyweight title match. Your World Heavyweight Championship and your WWE Championship should be the top 2 titles in your damn company, and you're going to open up your pay-per-view with your World Heavyweight title match when there should be more emphasis on it being one of the main events of your pay-per-view. To me, that pisses me off more than anything.
Well, Billy, to be honest with you, I think they kind of do it as a high-low. I think they set it off with a high and a low. I don't think they do it as in an insult. They kind of figured, okay, we're going to start off as a highlight of the night, and that is if they did in the middle, it would be more of an insult. If they did it, I think, next to the WWE title, I think it would be an insult, because they'd be like, okay, we're going to watch this, and then people would be so wound down from that match, then they're not going to watch the Daniel Bryan match. If you recall back to like certain WrestleManias where they watch like the Undertaker matches, with Triple H. They're so wound down from that match, they forget the match that happened after that. And I think that's why they do that. They kind of do that so they watch it, they kind of wind down, okay, and it's great, and then they have a few matches in between, like, the match after that, which wasn't that great, was okay, but who cares? It's not really significant. Then they have a chance to get back into the highlights of the match, and I think that makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Classic Wrestling Association, he's so cool he wears shades even at nighttime. It's Joseph Knight. Mr. Knight, I understand that you got something you would like to say about this matter?
Absolutely. To me, I didn't like the idea of them putting the world title up front. But then let's remember one thing: this is not WWE's title. This is always going to be looked upon as a WCW NWA world title. It's the big gold belt. WWE treats that world title like a stepchild. They basically slap it, put it in the beginning, let's get it out of the way, and let's move on. When the Intercontinental title gets a mid-card, middle pay-per-view set, and the world title gets the beginning, that kind of shows you where it is. I don't believe it's a way of opening a show. I think it devalues the world title. If anything, that should be like a semi-main event belt. It should never be something that you open up a show with. For that, you might as well open up the Intercontinental title.
Now, let's look at this Battleground Hardcore Rules match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto Del Rio taking on Rob Van Dam with Ricardo Rodriguez at ringside. Rick, one thing that I said on my predictions video is I was very, very confident that WWE would pull the trigger and have Ricardo Rodriguez turn on Rob Van Dam and go back to Alberto Del Rio. Did that happen?
No, it didn't. A lot of people were saying that, and I pretty much said I didn't see it happening. There was a lot of other. I saw an issue where I saw Wade Barrett actually tease a possible entrance run-in. So I kind of even knew that maybe that was going to happen. So I just didn't see it happening. It's like, why make that build on me to do another quick switch? It didn't.
So
if you also look at the match, if you look out through that entire match, you kind of see Ricardo. You see him kind of chiming into both guys. He'll say something to, like, be ready. To Alberto Del Rio when RVD was going to do something, or when RVD was in a position that he was going to get a move done to him, you could see the same thing. They played it off well. I mean, it kind of looked like he was about to turn because he kind of chimed in, to Alberto Del Rio. You kind of saw him doing a little talk back and forth. But, I think personally, it looked like it was going to be the screw job for RVD, but it didn't happen. So I would like to know where this is going to go from there.
Definitely, I gotta agree with that. Rick, what is your score for the Hardcore Rules World Heavyweight Title match?
I give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was good, but it wasn't a classic, true hardcore match. It was some great toys in there, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more.
Up next was a matchup was announced earlier on WWE.com. It was a tag match. The Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro, taking on Santino Marella and the Great Khali. And Will, I think one thing that fans will take from this, because they actually showed the replay of it, so I did have the opportunity to view this, and there was something that me and Rick were kind of talking about, and I think Ashley, the Studley man Ashley made a reference to it as well before we actually talked before the pay-per-view, is the fact that Antonio Cesaro, yes, was going to use the big spin, but he used it on the Great Khali, which was just a feat to behold, to be honest.
The feat to behold, huh? Well, you gotta imagine it this way, though. Cesaro is a strong man. I didn't know the match was gonna last like it did, but, it was an okay match. There was a couple of spots. I went to sleep. I needed an IV shot. But Cesaro got the win. I mean, this was a circus type of match, but Cesaro won with the big swing. Crowd was into it. 1, 2, 3. I'll give the match just because Cesaro got the crowd more awake than Santino. I'll give it a 3, and it just shows that Cesaro is not a weak star. Put that on notice, everybody.
Divas Championship on the line.
Wait.
I'm sorry, the Intercontinental title match. Yes, I do apologize. The Intercontinental title match was up next. Curtis Axel, the Shining Star, Rick Starr's favorite wrestler of all time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he likes Curtis Axel more than Joseph Knight.
Just about as much as you like Ixana.
Defending against R-Truth. Carmen, one thing that I thought was going to happen is that Curtis Axel was actually going to have the title dropped. He was going to drop it to R-Truth because one thing I said on the predictions was the fact that Curtis Axel really hasn't done anything. As he's got the Ezekiel Jackson disease, is what I like to call it. You know, when you get a title put on you, then you just absolutely flatline, and that's what Curtis Axel, to me, was doing. And did that happen? Did Curtis Axel lose the Intercontinental title tonight?
No, but like you said, the whole Curtis Axel gimmick, it's starting to flatline, and it's starting to be on its last legs, and it's starting to get old. It's the same thing week in and week out. It's starting to flatline. It is getting old, but yeah, he did retain the not the World Heavyweight title, the Intercontinental title over R-Truth.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
When did he ever get a pulse?
Yeah, you got a point. You got a good point right there.
Another question: when did they allow a jobber to get a title shot? R-Truth is far from being a contender, let alone fighting for a title belt.
Cartman, your score?
I'd say, honestly, a 2 out of 5.
Well, up next now was the Divas Championship match. AJ Lee defending against Brie Bella. This was one match, James, that kind of had us, kind of split. There were a couple of guys saying that, they thought Brie Bella was going to get the title, and I, for one, was going to be sure. I was actually sure that, AJ Lee was going to retain, but she was going to have herself intentionally disqualified. What happened?
Well, it wasn't disqualification. AJ Lee did win, but kind of a little hot. It was a good back and forth match, I'll give it that. But the finish of the match is basically, it was Tamina attacking Nikki Bella, choking her, with Brie getting distracted. AJ Lee with the roll-up pulled the tights. 1, 2, 3 win. And I think this is really interesting. Are they going to continue having Brie be involved in the Divas title match? Or will they go to another Total Diva? That's now the question now with this one.
Your score?
I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. It wasn't a great Divas match. It was a decent one, I believe.
Jobs on the line. Up next, as Cody Rhodes and Goldust took on Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns of the Shield. Dusty Rhodes at ringside. Was Dean Ambrose at ringside for this match? Because I missed
Dean
this
Ambrose was at ringside, yes.
Okay, and I gotta say, back to the predictions again. I gotta quote. I think we were all in agreement that Cody Rhodes and Goldust, Rick, we're gonna win and get their jobs back and protect their father's job. Did that happen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Towards the end of the match, it pretty much broke down because of the Shield obviously tried to get in and keep the Rhodes from winning. But, of course, Goldust brought the fight to the outside. And even Cody gave, Dusty, yes, thank you. Okay. And then he gives Rollins the Crossroads for the win.
Wow. Your score?
That was a really good match. I think overall I have to give that one a 4.5 out of 5 because I think just the whole ride from top to bottom, just the end with everybody celebrating, it was a really good match.
Mysterious Circumstances, a really weird way that WWE brought this next match about between Bray Wyatt and Kofi Kingston. One thing that was said already by yours truly, the Wrestle Gamer, that to me this was a make it or break it type of match for the Wyatt gimmick overall, including Bray Wyatt. If Kofi Kingston went over on Bray Wyatt, to me that would have spelled the end of Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family gimmick in the WWE. So to me, Bray Wyatt needed to be the one to go over in this match. Will, did Bray Wyatt win this match? Will.
He fell asleep due to the match.
Let's go to Cartman then. Cartman.
Do I really need to say who won? It's painstakingly obvious. Bray Wyatt won the match, and after the match, the rest of the Wyatt family, I can't remember who the hell they are, because they never end up in the ring, and I know not worth remembering, but yeah, the other two members of the Wyatt family came in and attacked Kofi, and then Bray Wyatt cut a promo about the follow the buzzards thing, and yeah.
It was that interesting.
Exactly.
As interesting as Bray Wyatt's crab walk.
That was weird.
That was freaky. That scared the hell out of me.
Cartman, your score?
2 out of 5.
Up next was Paul Heyman's big, beautiful BM, Bad Man, and Ryback taking on CM Punk. And I think some of us were on the fence on the predictions for CM Punk and Ryback. I, for one, figured it was high time that CM Punk needed a win on a pay-per-view. And this match, I gotta say, actually, to me, lived up to the hype with a little bit of a disappointing finish. A lot of people were thinking that maybe this was going to be a dirty finish of sorts, where it was going to be like, not a clean victory. Somebody was going to, run in, possibly Curtis Axel. Did not see that. What we did see in this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, was CM Punk with an ode to Ric Flair. What I mean is, when Paul Heyman inadvertently had the referee distracted, CM Punk did his best impersonation of having the Ric Flair trick knee problem and low-blowed Ryback and got the victory in that fashion. I'm going to say, I thought it was great match content, even though the finish was kind of loopy in a sense, but I still found the match to be enjoyable. I got to go 4 out of 5 on this one as we look now to the main event. The WWE Championship on the line. No champion advantage for anybody. Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. Now, I think we got to mention this. We got to mention this. They're playing clips, the montages leading up into the match, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything goes to black. And we're all thinking, what the hell's going on? I mean, did we lose the stream we were watching? We going
I
everywhere.
was thinking the WWE put Sin Cara in the production truck.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people say. That's what a lot of people say.
But about 3 minutes later,
I thought they were just picking on TNA for not paying their bills.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I think the reports were, I think we're getting the reports now, there was some country-looking woman with a T-shirt that says TNA. She kept saying over and over, I'm Dixie, I pulled the plug.
Oh, God.
I think it was somebody familiar, but we couldn't actually verify it.
Well, what was made known is the fact that WWE had a power outage at the pay-per-view tonight, and they waited to have everything booted back up. I like the fact that WWE didn't BS the thing, because there's no way they could have. There's no way they could have say, "Oh, okay, we're going to totally ignore what just happened." As probably everybody was wondering, why was there such a, service interruption in the pay-per-view? And the only reason that could have been was a power outage, and that's what they said. And if that's their story, and they're going to stick to it, you know what? I got to believe it. But anyway, on to this match. So many, there are so many different scenarios that got played out. But the one scenario, I did see involvement of Big Show in some form or in some facet, Rick. But I did not think they would end the pay-per-view the way they did.
Unfortunately, I was talking with Joe during the match, and he says, "You know what? I see a screw job coming out." I'm like, fuck. I'm like, "No, I do." And of course, Brian has Orton in the Bell lock, and who comes out? Big Show. and he pulls out the ref, knocks out the ref. Brian looks at him like, "What the hell are you doing?" Knocks out Brian. Then who comes down? But referee Scott Armstrong. Now, if you don't remember who that was,
The controversial referee from Night of Champions.
Yes.
Thank you. So he comes in. He gets ready to do the count. 1, 2. Big Show's like, "No, fuck this." Pulls him out. Knocks him out. Now Orton's pissed. Like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Big Show climbs in. Orton's all pissed, all heated. Big Show knocks him out. So now we have 2 wrestlers knocked out. 2 wrestlers knocked out outside the ring. And Big Show's, pretty much screaming, saying no more. And we have a Brad Maddox, who, of course, always looks dumbfounded, saying, "What the hell do I do?" That's what he always says. And, of course, the pay-per-view ends, so we have no winner.
Again.
Yeah. Rick, how would you score that?
There was a lot of spots. I mean, Randy Orton is a spot monkey, but I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to find out what everyone's overall score is and their picks for best and worst match or segment of WWE Battleground. Now, yours truly had some family business I had to take care of, so unfortunately there were only 3 matches that I had a chance to see. That was Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow, CM Punk and Ryback, and Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. Of those 3 that I've seen, again, this is just from what I have seen, because I can't judge on Del Rio or Rob Van Dam. I can't say anything about Real Americans, Santino Marella and Great Khali. I can't say anything about Agent Lee, Brie Bella, the Rhodes family versus the Shield, or Bray Wyatt, even though I did see the replay of Bray Wyatt in that crab walk. I'm like, holy crap! And Kofi Kingston. But I will say this, from the 3 that I saw, I really think that CM Punk and Ryback was best match of the night, with the WWE Championship match a very, very close second. Let's call it a tie. As I'm pretty sure the general manager of ESPN will probably have something different to say about that. So I really don't have a worse match or segment for Battleground, to be honest with you, because I like Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow, so I really don't have a worse match or segment for Battleground. So I'm going to say my overall score from the 3 matches I saw would be a 4 out of 5, because I saw 3 really good matches. The kickoff match, Ryback and CM Punk, and the WWE Championship match, where we still don't have a WWE champion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over to the Shining Star, Rick Starr, and find out his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of WWE Battleground.
Well, the best match, I'll have to go with the main event, because I did like it, and it was probably the most, with the exception of the Blackout, was probably the most unpredictable match of the night, because the end was pretty unpredictable. If Joe had not told me, I probably wouldn't have saw it coming, because I really did predict Daniel Bryan at the beginning. So, anyway, as far as the worst match of the night, I guess I'll have to go with the Diva match, because it was just kind of like, that's usually just crap, and it was kind of crap for the show. Overall, I was not really overly pleased with this pay-per-view. I mean, I pretty much called, I'd have to say, about 80% of this pay-per-view right down the line. Every match, I'd say, okay, this person's going to win, this person's going to win, this person's going to win. And it's like, when you can do that, it's like, what's the point? I'm glad I just didn't pay for the thing. Sorry.
Well, up next, we're going to go to Will and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of WWE Battleground.
Overall show, I'll give it a 3. Best match, I hate to say it, I'm going to go a little bit different here, and I'm going to say the Real Americans versus Santino and Khali in this one, only because of Cesaro's big swing. Do not count out the swing of it to Cesaro. The worst segment, Titus O'Neil wearing that fake beard.
That was Tensai.
Wow.
That was Tensai.
No, Tensai put it on O'Neil.
Yes.
Oh, well, whatever. But
Either way, kudos to Will for that.
Best segment, the best 3-minute piss break of a wrestling fan's life. Oh, yeah.
Nick scoring a touchdown?
No, during the blackout of Battleground.
Oh, jeez.
And another worst segment, since we're the 10 side, wear glasses. Weird. Worst match? Oh, man. I would have to say the Divas match. I just wasn't into it.
When is somebody ever into a Divas match?
Probably none of us here, but yeah. So overall, shows a 3.
Hey, Will.
Anyway, up next, the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman, is up next with his picks for best and worst match or segment of WWE Battleground, along with his overall score.
Best, I'd have to say it's a tie between the Rhodes family versus the Shield, or Romans and Reigns, but same thing, yeah. Between that and the WWE title match, and worst match or segment, I'd probably have to say probably the Curtis Axel versus R-Truth, because the Curtis Axel gimmick is getting very, very stale. Well, it has been since it ever started, but it's old, and it was, like, stupidly predictable who was going to win, because when's the last time the WWE gave R-Truth any sort of a push besides out the door?
Oh, jeez. All right, James, you're up next with your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of WWE Battleground.
Best match, I give it a tie. I enjoyed the tag team match between Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus The Shield. You know, this one, it basically involved a good storyline. We obviously know Cody Rhodes can do it. Goldust can still compete. And, you know, with The Shield. Level. Yeah, they can do all that. And the WWE Championship, even though a lot of people on Twitter, I'm looking at Twitter, everybody hates the fact that, you know, everybody was chanting bullshit right after the pay-per-view ended, the fact that there was no champion. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't expect Big Show to not cost only Daniel Bryan, but Randy Orton that match. And it's kind of a little surprised that Scott Armstrong came back for some odd reason. My worst has to be a tie between the Intercontinental Championship match and that one random segment between both general managers, Brad Maddox and Vicky Guerrero. Why the hell did we... I mean, I kind of understand now why they did it, but I just didn't get it at that time, so...
Mr. Knight, I was wondering if we can get your insight into what you thought were the best and worst match or segments of WWE Battleground.
Actually, I'm going to surprise everyone, and I have to say the best match, or at least in my opinion, had to be the Rhodes versus the Shield. And I'm going to give you a reason why. All this time throughout Cody's career, he hasn't had that desire. You never seen Cody Rhodes really get out there and do something. That this night, not only did you see Cody Rhodes go out there with his brother and his father kind of cheering him on, you saw him mature. During the camera segment, the little promo in the bag, he chimed in. He actually shot a good promo. He actually had the charisma going. And I believe by having his brother and his father there with him, he performed a perfect match. I mean, he got in there, he did a great match. So I'm going to surprise everyone. As much as I kind of I enjoyed the Daniel Bryan Orton match, but it was very predictable. I have to say the best match was the Rhodes family versus the Shield. And I'm going to agree with everyone here. The worst match is the one that really, you go to the bathroom, you go to eat something. Hell, you can go to McDonald's and order a Happy Meal or a big meal or whatever, and by the time you come back, it'll probably still be going on. It's the Divas match. Say what you will, the Divas are not women wrestlers. They're Playboy bunnies. They bounce up and down, and they show nothing of any type of competition or talent. Rick told me you know, well, AJ's showing some talent there. And I'm like, yeah, too bad it's not wrestling, you know. So, best match, Rhodes and Shield. Worst match, the Divas. Overall, of the whole pay-per-view, I would have to give the pay-per-view kind of a 5, right in the middle.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on WWE Battleground, or your picks for best and worst match or segment of Battleground. We want to hear from you guys out there. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Where can fans check you out on HWR?
Of course, you can always check me out on my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And if you ever want to listen to any of our shows, head on over to Spreaker.com/HWR Media. And don't forget, we have all of our archive shows over on our Facebook page our YouTube page at youtube.com/HWR Show.
When he's not secretly killing Kenny on Minecraft, the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman, is on YouTube himself, youtube.com/KillerXKenny. Cartman, what you got coming up?
I have no clue at this point. Whatever, I just kind of come up with an idea of something to upload, I just go along and upload it, but as I kind of have no, like, formal plan of what I'm going to do. So, it's mostly just, like, Minecraft, and, like, random stuff, like Minecraft racing games, just, like I said, whatever I decide to upload.
Okay, and all right, ladies and gentlemen, one of them secretly worships Colin Kaepernick in his room, and the other, not so much. It's the Bay Area MVP known as Will and James from the Big Easy. Guys, what you got coming up?
All I gotta say is not just romp that Houston Texans, Saints go 5-0. Everybody wins.
All right.
No.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to put in my score. Out of 10, I give the pay-per-view a 5 out of 10. But anyway, going on to other stuff, we're gonna do wrestling talk, football talk. San Francisco, who y'all play next week?
We got the Cardinals, while you guys got the Patriots.
Good. Thank you. And that's gonna be a tough one.
Well, I see the Saints going 5-1 after next week.
Oh.
Boo you! Get off this call. Anyway.
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, also don't forget to like the Facebook page. Before I say that, we got Mr. Joseph Knight here from Classic Wrestling Association. Mr. Knight, where can fans find out more information about CWA?
They can find us on ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com. They can also find us on Facebook, also Classic Wrestling Association. They can find me on Facebook also as Joseph Knight. And right now I'm going to make the announcement for everybody here. The CWA in November is opening up its wrestling school. We have a big surprise that's going to come down coming these following weeks. But mid-November, you're going to see the CWA Wrestling School. The teachers are going to be there. Going to be Jason Knight. He's going to be in charge. He's senior instructor. During the rest of this week and month, I'll be making more updates and more announcements.
Oh, well, definitely looking forward to hearing that information. Again, that's the Classic Wrestling Association Training School, guys. Be sure you check out ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com for more information and more details as the weeks go by. And also, fans, don't forget to like the Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/WGS-TV. And don't forget to please subscribe to YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and YouTube.com/ZFXTV Network. So for the Illuminous one, the Shining Star, Brick Star, the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman, the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, James and Big Easy, and our very special guest from Classic Wrestling Association, Mr. Joseph Knight. I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Double B Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
We have an update.
This is normally when we also have like the funny ending comment from me, but due to the blackout, we just thought.
I think it was.
Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. I'm Haley Ringrose. Stoke Answers.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
I'm a spirituals medium. Stoke Answers.